What's going on, fellow co-creators? Good to see you all again. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Tales of Dordania. Where we left off last time, everybody's in town, everybody's doing pretty good. Behemoth, you rocked the house down over at Lou's Tavern and were just, playing your new enchanted lute for all the chords it's worth. Literally, you were just rocking and rolling. Give me the wolf. Yeah. The song of the wolf, is that right?
Yeah, right.
And no, you did a great job there, and I believe we left off where you were actually making your way to your room for the night that you had purchased from Lou. And then, Kieran, you are deciding to spend the night in the barracks with the soldiers. That way they take you out for some range training tomorrow to get some new practice with your sweet new crossbow. And then, Tara, you're in surgery, just recovery. You're post-op, just chilling, just, sleeping, trying to get some good dreams and all that kind of stuff. Did it not spill? Good job. Oh, shit. And you're in post-op. Just recovery room, doing your thing, which is why Tara will actually be playing as Kai tonight, because Kai's feeling a little under the weather. And so you have just stumbled out into kind of the middle of the street from the castle as Kai, and you woke up on level 2, and no one had shown you how to get out of the castle, so it took you a minute to figure out the enchanted staircase. Luckily, you finally figured it out eventually, and you've kind of just stumbled into the middle of the streets. It is around probably 11:30, almost coming upon midnight. What would you like to do? We're going to start with you, part-time Kai, which we got a nice Kai painted up, courtesy of Uncle Jimmy, and printed up with co-creations, of course.
Is what time now?
It's about 11:30 at night.
So everybody's closed.
All of the main shops are closed. The only place that's still open would be Lou's Tavern.
Lou's Tavern.
Lou's Tavern's kind of like that 24-hour. It's like Waffle House over there, bro. Let's make things happen.
There's not much really that I think I can do, so I think I'll go to Lou's.
Okay.
I'll spend some of Parker's money.
Make a perception check. Kind of map out the town, because this is kind of your second time consciously walking through here.
Count the steps.
And with Kai then making his perception check and successfully doing it too, as far as mapping out the town goes, he knows where he is, he knows kind of where some of the buildings are, and he ended up making his way over to Lou's Tavern, where...
And as you walk in, there's maybe one vampire, totally pop it off, there's maybe one vampire still chilling up at the bar top, and there's maybe 2 deep gnomes that look just, hammered out of their mind in one of the tables in one of the corners. Only about 3 or 4 customers, in the shop currently this time. And you see Lou behind the counter, kind of, just cleaning out some mugs, looking like he's kind of cleaning up shop and, cleaning up, tidying up from the night of celebration, all that kind of good stuff. What would you like to do?
Need a good drink, Mr. Lou.
Hey, what's going on there, my friend? You doing okay there? You got something over your eyes. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see up in here.
Well, I can't see up in here.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't know. Pardon, you know what? Come over. Let me pour you an ale on the house, all right? He just pours an ale and slides it across the bar top. I'm sorry for the insult. Seriously, didn't know. You never know the style of some of the people who come up in here. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
What's your name, though, weary traveler?
My name is Kai.
Okay, Kai. It's good to meet you. Where do you come from? What are you doing here in Alacadia?
I'm with the whole crew with Tarek and
Behemoth? You know Behemoth? My little man. He was rocking this play. I tell you what, the music that guy can play sometimes, it gets this place bumping, which is great for business. Everybody's getting drunk, everybody's having food. They're just enjoying, the great, service. So I'm just really happy about Behemoth. He's a good guy.
Yep, his music can lift the weary soul.
You definitely are a friend of the Behemoth.
Or unleash a demon.
What can I do for you, Kai, friend of Behemoth?
I really don't even know how I got here per se, but so I'm just trying to check some places out. But it's late, and so I figured I'd stop in and get some food and some drink. And
you're a smart man. This is the place to be if you need some food and drink. As far as why you're here, I've been here in my shop, my man. I can't help you out too much there. My best bet would be to try to find your friends. Which Behemoth should be in one of my rooms out beside out behind the tavern. I believe he's in room 2, the first one as you kind of hook around the corner there. Nice wood, shingles on the top, a little bit of a bluish, second level. I gave him the room key only maybe about an hour ago, so he still might be awake if y'all are looking to link up with one of your friends.
I might consider that. I think I need some alone time.
I understand, my friend. So, what can I get you to eat, though? We got cinder spider eggs, cinder beast mash. We got all sorts of good stuff here at the Lou's Tavern.
We'll do let's do the cinder beast mash.
Oh, the cinder beast mash. Give me just a second here. Hey, I need to order the cinder beast mash. Stack. And you hear, little footsteps, and you hear some stumbling, some cleaning of pots and pans, and Lou looks at you. All right, my friend, that's just going to be 5 gold points, and give me about 10 minutes to get that ready for you. Boom, grab the gold.
And as Kai was waiting for his cinder mash, we jump over to Behemoth, who is taking his quarters in one of Lou's inns behind Lou's Tavern. And he's going to go ahead and break open his animal handling book and try to get a couple more chapters knocked out of that. And he ends up actually reading about not only how to prepare animals to eat and for, stews and stuff like that, but he also reads on how to prepare animals for different pelts, how to prepare the fur to turn into coats, shirts, jackets, blankets. He learns all the different rare parts of different animals that he can use for medicinal purposes, and that he can use to, use their bones to fashion out of tools and things of that nature. So he gets a good chunk of his book definitely read through. And then we jump over to Kieran, who is in the barracks, and his buddy Terrence actually, kind of leads him into where he'll be staying for the night. And he's in a barrack with about another 50 other vampires, and luckily they're all sleeping at the moment. And Terrence just kind of drops Kieran off there and then goes to his barracks. We're actually across the way of the training area. So Kieran kind of just, decides to get a good night of rest before he goes to train with Theo's army. And back to Kai, who's still at Lou's Tavern, he decides he's going to try to strike up conversation with one of these vampires who seems to be kind of either drunk or passed out over the countertop next to him at the bar.
What's your story?
I've just been drinking all day. I think all night too. Came in with my crew. I round up some of the cinder beasts for Lou, and I trade them in to him, and in turn he gets me drunk. So yeah, we got a nice catch. Brought in 2 full beasts, adolescent teens. Lou should have enough meat from the both of them to, feed anybody who's coming in this place for the next couple weeks. So, hence why I've just been sitting here getting drunk.
All right, sounds like a good idea. Well, sure was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you too. Bye, right?
Kai.
Kai, that's right. That's the one.
And your name is?
Oh, I'm Bartholomew.
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 It was a pleasure meeting you, Bartholomew.
As you too. Good night. And as he kind of yawns and kind of goes back to, eating whatever's in his bowl, Lou comes around the corner. All right, here you go, my friend. Here's a nice piping hot order of the Cinder Beast mash for you. Actually got it fresh today, if you can believe that. Love when the service comes in and we can get some good fresh Cinder Beast for the crew. Here you go. Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
And as you bite into the Cinder Beast mash, the smell hits you first, being blind, of course, and it smells just delicious. And whatever spices and seasonings Lou has cooked this thing with, you are not very used or accustomed to eating the normal food at the monastery. Very, very simple food at the monastery, should I say. And as soon as you bite into this beef, it tastes like the tenderest, chuck roast you've ever had. And the meat just falls off. And it is juicy, delicious. It's filled with a little bit of mashed potatoes in the bowl as well on the plate. And there seems to be some corn in there too. And so it's just kind of a nice, slop of meat, taters and corn, and you just kind of mix it all together, and it is delicious. And you are very, very satisfied as you're just kind of munching away down on your food. It takes you maybe about 10 minutes or so to eat it all. After you finish up, what would you like to do?
So, Lou, need some advice.
Now, what can I do for you?
You've been here for a while.
Oh, yeah. About a year or so now.
So I have to go to Ursos and grovel.
Yeah.
What's the best way to grovel with Ursos?
My friend, Ursos loves him cinder spider eggs. Loves the cinder spider eggs the way I do them, and I do them just right for my man Ursos because he likes them a very special way. Slightly different than everybody else is, and I'm the only one who knows just that way to do it. So he's a big fan of the eats. I mean, you would think the guy being the enchanted, gentleman that he is, would be able to conjure up a basic meal for himself. But to be honest, he's one of the worst cooks I've ever seen throughout Alacordia. So, he really likes, getting some good food in his system. And then past that, he really does, like helping people who actually, have noble causes. He likes people, who's respectable, who's a big man about respect. And he really likes people who, are fighting for something greater than themselves and can really, bring that to the table and show him what they're trying to really do here in this life that they're trying to live. Ursos has mad respect for people who are trying, go on big quests and trying to, help the little guys throughout the land.
Good to know. What about his bird? Do you have anything for his bird?
Oh, that boy, my goodness. Ever since he got back from the land of law about a year ago, he had been just so excited about this damn bird, except he couldn't teach the thing how to talk. He had to get in the theory to do it. Damn thing only knows how to say intruder alert and some other garbage and nonsense like that. But I will say the bird does like these little bit of crackers that I got here. I just kind of been, mashing them up a little bit with some of the leftover stuff I got, letting them harden throughout the day, kind of making it into almost like a little granola bar for the little guy. But I have maybe a couple sticks of them that I have been kind of letting out to dry.
Can I just do a pre-order, because I know he's closed right now, and so if I can just order something and maybe you have it ready by the time he's open, I'll come pick it up.
Get him a little breakfast dish. I know what you're talking about there. Everybody can go for a good breakfast.
And something for the bird.
You want the cinder spider eggs for the man Ursos?
That's what he likes.
He's going to want a little bit of that Bloody Mary in the morning as well.
Oh, he's one of those. Huh?
One of those guys, one of those gents.
Is he one of those, or are you just trying to sell me some more stuff there?
I'm just trying to make you smile, my friends.
I mean, every little bit helps. So, okay, we'll go ahead and
We got a lot to answer for, buddy.
I normally don't really sell these granola bar things for the boys. It's just kind of something I just do. But I tell you what, okay? Give me 5 gold and I'll give you these 3 sticks that I've been having, cured for the last day and a half.
Okay.
All right, so all things said and done, it's going to be 30 gold.
Sounds like a plan. What time should I have no idea what time he opens because I'm still new around here, so what time should I be here to pick it up?
His shop opens up bright and early. He's about at 8 a.m. He had the shop open. I have this dish ready for you by 7:45.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Anything else I can do for you tonight, Kai?
Gotta find a place. I don't want to sleep with Behemoth.
I mean, I can understand this.
I'm really trying to I need to be alone and just gather my thoughts. So, is there a place around here where I can just pitch a tent or something of that nature?
Well, you could travel kind of right outside of town, post up on the outskirts if you wanted to pitch a tent. Or if you go kind of through the common sections, you'll find the Deep Gnome Quarters. It's kind of a weird little, community. It's about maybe 20, 30 tents. Them Deep Gnomes pack it in tight. I mean, they're like 3 to, 8 Deep Gnomes in a tent. So they pack it in tight, but I would assume you could probably find a little bit of room over there to pitch a tent or something. At least be by yourself, if that's what you're looking for.
That's what I'm looking for.
That'd be my advice to you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And as Kai then took Lou's advice, he went over to the common quarters for the Deep Gnomes. And it took him a little bit, but he ended up making a tent and pitching his tent right kind of on the outskirts of the common quarters for the Deep Gnomes. And then, kind of everybody's asleep now. And everybody starts having some crazy, weird dreams. Kai's dream is of his monastery where he trained at, and he has just seen the monastery in flames, and it seems like these huge dark figures, almost animalistic in nature, are just tearing and ripping through his fellow monks, his fellow students, his mentors. I mean, they're just killing everybody he knows and loves. And he wakes up in a cold sweat, and it's a little bit hard for him to get back to sleep. We jump over to Behemoth, and he has a vivid dream of a very, very steep cliff, about 50 feet high, and he's around water. He smells almost like the sea spray kind of crashing. You can hear the waves crashing beneath him. It's a very, very vivid and intense dream, and as he looks down over the edge, there's a dark figure in the water. He can't make out what it is, and as he keeps leaning over to try to get a better look, he all of a sudden hears the voice of his creator, Colonel F. Sanders, and he just hears his creator yell out his name, Behemoth, and it startles him, and he falls over the cliff edge into the water and just feels the ice chill and then nothing. And he wakes up in a very, very cold sweat and doesn't get much sleep after that either. We jump over then to Kieran, who has a dream of, he's walking up to this interesting stone building, and he jumps kind of over a courtyard wall, and he's just peering around, and everything seems almost a little too quiet. And as he walks up to one of the windows, he sees what seems to be a monk. He's kind of dressed a little similar to how Kai is dressed, and he seems to have his arm literally broken like in half, and there's a dark figure. It looks almost kind of like a wolf standing up, standing over this monk, and it seems like he is just intimidating and, I mean, literally just hurting and about to just eat this monk right here that he is seeing. And out of pure instinct, Kieran just jumps over the ledge, over this windowsill, into the room, and magically his blunderbuss that Cryptera has been making for him appears in his hand, and he just starts going to town on this single, creature that is, about to devour this monk. All of a sudden, though, as he is killing this one, about 10 to 15 others appear and surround the building that he is in, and he wakes up and he's a little self-confident. He's like, you know what, that was pretty awesome, and I'm obviously gonna, do really, really well in this potential mission we got at hand, so he doesn't worry too much. He actually goes to bed and doesn't sleep too bad. We jump then over to Terig, who then is starting to have a weird conversation with Abaddon. He's not quite dreaming, but he is definitely in his temporal soul state, and he can kind of just walk right over to the obsidian temporal prison that is attached to him, and he kind of goes in there to check on Abaddon. He starts seeing some crazy stuff. I mean, Abaddon is pissed. He is like a very, very dark, shadowy figure trying to like squeeze out of these obsidian bars that he is imprisoned in. And as, Terry kind of walks up to him, Abaddon just starts talking, and here's what he says.
How dare you think you can contain me and double-cross me, Derek, after I gave you a chance and saved not only your life, but your companions' lives as well, from Chateau D'If and from Malice.
And you just hear as like Abaddon's pissed, like he's a little mad. He's a little mad that you and Theo done did this thing to him. And as he's saying these things,
the irony is that this is a demon saying, "You lied!"
right? Isn't that the best part? Like, for real.
Really.
And who are you to talk, right? Like, for real.
This is irony here. This is like, you lied! Yes, I did, you demon.
As he, is pissed off and saying all these things.
I swear to you, Tarek, by everything unholy in me, that I will not rest until I've at least killed you and escaped from this prison.
I think you made an enemy.
Good. Yeah, good. And he says all these things to you.
I appreciate you, Abaddon. I thank you for all that you've done for me.
Oh, he's spiteful in his face. He's mad about this.
Kill with kindness. There's still some more to be done.
You think you still have all the power? Let's just see about that.
Make another intelligence saving throw.
No, it would be great. You know that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy, like at the end, where Ronan is like about to kill everybody, and then Shadow's like, dance off. It's like, ooh,
Get it. You and me, man.
Just sit there.
Let's go. As Abaddon says these things, you just kind of flex almost your mind in your sleep dream state. And you just see like the cell that he's in almost just thicken. And the bars just seem to thicken, and the gap where his head is slowly closing in on him, and he pulls his head back in. And it seems like you're literally, by your will alone, growing and stretching and strengthening the cell that Abaddon's in. And Abaddon, as he kind of sits back.
Enjoy waking up, Tarek.
And as you come back awake, make a Constitution saving throw.
I want to say that's going to be 14.
Okay.
It sucks.
As you wake back up, you take 8 damage, Tarek. Because as you sit up, you feel this crazy deep pain in your chest where the obsidian shard has been, placed. And you look up and you literally see it's starting to bleed a little bit around where the stone has been emitted. And your best guess is that Abaddon was trying to get under your skin to flex your new abilities before they were quite healed.
And as Tarek realizes all of these things, he actually grabs his sending stone and calls for Theo for help. And Theo sends Natiri to go and check on Tarek. And as she arrives, she throws some cloths at him and some rags so that way he can kind of clean himself up. And then she prepares a healing salve that then he can apply to himself to kind of mend not only the wound but also amplify kind of the healing of the surgery itself as well. So Tarek does so and tries to go back to sleep, a little unrestful, but he does end up getting a little bit more sleep. And then after about another 2 or 3 hours, so everybody wakes up and we jump over to Kieran, who is waking up in the barracks to a very, very dominant dressed vampire who kind of seems to be the drill sergeant of this area, at least of this barrack. And as he enters the premises, everybody is making their beds, they is getting everything ready. I mean, they are standing at attention because this guy has that authority. So we jump over to Kieran. And
What would you like to do?
Copy the vampires because I'm scared.
All right, make a performance check for how well you make your
Right,
bed
how well
and
he
come to
falls into
stand
line.
and stand in line.
Oh, Jesus. It's a performance?
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4.
Oh.
As you're seeing all of this happen and you're just kind of caught off guard, you literally trying to get out of your hammock. You're kind of just tangled. And you just end up falling face first on the floor. And your foot is still like hanging in the hammock and it's all like tangled and like twisted up like in the hammock. And legit, you're like trying to kick your stupid foot out and everything.
He's hanging there.
And all of a sudden you realize like it's silent. Like it's real
Everyone
silent.
is.
And you look up, all these 50 other some odd vampires are standing in a line in rows of 10, and there's about 5 rows, and all of their gaze is on you. And this kind of seeming to be vampire in charge, standing at the entrance of your barracks, about maybe 3 or 4 feet away from where you currently are laying on the ground, just looks at you. Who let this rodent into my barracks? And all the other vamps. No, not I, sir. Not I, sir. Not Terrence. It was Terrence, sir. I saw him hanging out with Terrence. And this drill sergeant kind of walks over to you, and you're just like still foot tangled up in the hammock. I said, so Terrence said you could spend the night and disrupt my barracks, did he?
He can say disrupt. I did that all by myself, sir.
Boy, do I look like the man who was in a joking mood this morning?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are you doing in my barracks before I kick you out right now?
Here for morning training, sir.
Morning train? You're not even a vampire. What do you expect me doing here in this army?
Shoot some bows. Go fight some bad monks in the forest. Kill some evil vampires named Alice. I don't know. On the way.
And the gaze is just confused. On what authority do you have to be in my barracks right now, son?
Commander Lupus's.
You kind of see
Is it Lupin?
the
Yeah,
gaze.
you nailed it. Good job.
Nice job. You did a great job.
Yeah, you nailed
You
it.
kind of see the gaze on this drill sergeant, of what you're kind of assuming, slighten up just a little bit. Commander Lupus.
Yes, sir.
And he gave you permission to stay in these barracks?
Yes, sir.
To come on training this morning to me and the boys in the fields?
Yes, sir.
Well then, as such, Commander Lupus has put you under my direct authority and control. Are you willing to comply to these terms and conditions?
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Then boy, get your foot out of that damn hammock and stand up in line with these other vampires.
Yes, sir.
Make another performance check.
Oh, dude, 7? I can't roll, dude.
Wow.
You say yes, sir. You like roll on your back and you're like, get out of this thing. You're all in your mind. You're like, eh. You kind of shuffle your leg a little bit. You kind of twist and your leg gets out and you're like, yeah. You're so excited. As you go to stand up, you trip over your own 2 feet and you just right back down on the floor. Just kind of just get yourself just on all fours. And you look up at this drill sergeant guy. He just,
Sir,
Oh, it's gonna be a long day for you. Now stay down there and give me 20.
can I have my lucky charm first?
roll for performance on the on giving him 20.
I'm gonna die! Alright. Nat 20.
There we go. There we go. And as you are on already your hands and knees, you just, yes sir, and you just drop down and you just start cranking out. And luckily for you, push-ups ain't the hardest thing for a leprechaun. I mean, you really only got to push maybe 50 pounds of that. And you only got maybe a foot to travel off the ground too. So, you know, you got some great advantages for push-ups. So you start cranking out push-ups, I mean quick. You get these 20 push-ups knocked out in under like 5 minutes flat. And this drill sergeant's actually like pretty impressed with how you done did these
We're not
push-ups.
so
I mean,
fast.
you done
You
knocked
go
them out,
past
son.
it.
And as soon as you're done, you stand up and you say, sir, yes sir, ready to rock and roll. And this drill sergeant kind of is looking at you for a minute. All right, stand back there in line on row 4.
Yes, sir.
You go back there to row 4. And this drill sergeant kind of, you know, is now walking, kind of pacing back and forth in the center of the room. All right. Now, gentlemen, today we are going to the fields. And we are going there for range training. And what we are going to do today is we are going to hit some targets with some bows and with some arrows, with some crossbow bolts, and with other things that would have ranged attributes and attacks. Now, listen up. If you miss or if you fail, you are kicked out, back here to duty, and you are cleaning. I only want the most elite in my squad. And only the most elite soldiers will be sent on missions for King Theo to protect the keep. Is that understood? And you hear all the other ranks, sir, yes, sir. I mean, they're just like in it. I mean, it's the full, they're about this thing. You know what I mean? And you're kind of a little behind. Sir, yes, yes, sir. You're kind of, well, you know, a little behind on saying it. All right, stand in line and follow me. And you guys start making your way out of the barracks. And you start, I mean, going in line of about 4 in a row now. And you kind of start just making your way out throughout the barracks. And as they leave and head out to the field, to the range, we actually will kind of end here because I got a lot of awesome footage and don't want to skip out on any of it. So this is going to be another 2-part episode here. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. Again, kind of a recap. Kieran is about to go out and do some elite training with some of Theo's forces who deal in archery. And we're about to actually jump over for a sneak peek of what's about to happen to our dear friend Kai. He is actually waking up from his sleep over in kind of the common quarters for the deep gnomes, and he wakes up running over to Lou's Tavern to get the cinder spider eggs for Ursos Arctos, and he forgets to pack up his things, and on his way back to the common quarters there are 3 deep gnomes, Carl and the Carlers, and they are rummaging through his stuff and they are about to mug him very, very badly. So that is where we're going to start next time. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and definitely be sure to watch and look out for the next episode of Tales of Dordania. So thank you so much. Take care and God bless.